Good morning, everyone. Would you please stand and join me in our opening song, Holy, Holy Way?
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know
Viewers online, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, or the CLF website, welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. Please make sure you leave a comment so we know you're here and we'll be able to acknowledge you and recognize you. Thank you. I've already met I wouldn't really call her a first-time visitor because she was here at our previous location, but thank you to our new guests this morning. We have a sign-up sheet outside if you'd like to leave your information, and we'll keep in touch with you, and you can keep in touch with us, and please come back next week. Creative Living Fellowship is an independent religious science church, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. Our deep intention here is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do all of that through the principles and practices of the science of mind and spirit. The science of mind, it's a new thought, ancient wisdom teaching that provides us with the tools to live our best possible lives every single day. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said, and I'm going to paraphrase, which was also in my horoscope yesterday morning, I found kind of interesting. So I guess I needed this information myself. Mindset creates your reality. So I just ask yourself, is your perception starting to change? What is in your consciousness? That's what it means. Our musical inspiration today is Charity Lockhart, and we're so glad to have her back with us. Thank you, Charity. So here's a little bit how our time together will unfold. Our pre-service meditation and high watch acknowledgement is for Reverend Mary Jane Hyde, who's also a practitioner emeritus here at Creative Living Fellowship. Mary Jane held and ran our meditation this morning. Beautiful service. Please join us at 9:30 to partake of that. It just sets the mood. It gets you into that space of receiving and joy and love. And Reverend Mary Jane right now is holding high watch for us. What that means is she's sitting in meditative, contemplative stance, holding a space for the perfect unfoldment of our time together this morning. So double thanks for that, Reverend Mary Jane. I am the practitioner of the day, which means I will be offering the evocation. That will be followed by our congregational chant. It's called The World, and Deb Covington will be leading us in those, in that beautiful song, in that beautiful chant. It's a call and response, so you'll pick it up very quickly if it's new to you. It's not new to all of us here. After that, there'll be a few moments of silence. Then I'll be back with the inspirational reading. Right now, please join me in prayer. So we just rest right now in the knowingness, in this space, in this present moment, and every moment, that there is a power for good in this universe. We can all use this power for the highest and best purposes. That presence, that source, that energy, that life birthed me, lives and expresses through me. I possess all the qualities of this energy, as does everyone and everything. It is the source. It is the intention, the intelligence, the beauty, the joy, the love behind and within and back of all things. I can rest assured that it is always available to me. And so I know as I speak my word this morning for everyone gathered here that this power is expressing as oneness, intelligence, joy, deep understanding, connectivity to all that is, to the truth. I know and accept that this energy flows through this service, that all who participate are given that for which they have need. And that, as Ernest Holmes said, there is a shift in consciousness that occurs when we open up to receiving that goodness, open up to being aware of that love that is always supporting us, accepting our highest and best good every single day. So for this, I'm very grateful for the teachings of religious science. I am so very grateful for how these principles work in my life and the life of everyone. Yes, when we work them, they work for us. Thank you, God, for this reminder. Thank you, God, for the manifestation of my word, this prayer, knowing that as I've spoken it, it is manifested. I rest in that comfort and knowingness and complete confidence. And so it is. Amen.
Please join me in our chant the world. The world is a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. The world is a place of great peace. I am a place of great love for all. I am a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, I am a place of great peace. You are a place of great love for all. You are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, you are a place of great peace. We are a place of great love for all. We are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, we are a place of great peace. The world is a place of great peace.
Today's inspirational reading is called Love Them, and it is a poem by Senator Cory Booker. When they criticize you, love them for teaching you humility. When they heap scorn upon us, love them for helping you discover your resiliency. When they doubt you, love them for giving your dreams greater courage. When they point out your faults, love them for their accuracy. When they wound you, love them for showing you your capacity to forgive. When they try to stop you, love them for making your resolve even stronger. When they cast you into darkness, love them for helping you discover your indistinguishable light. And when you stand victorious, when your love has conquered the impossible challenge, invite them to stand with you so that they too can see love's power and possibility. Charity.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. Yeah. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies are having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. In this old world is a new world, and this old world for me. Oh, stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of a pine, oh, that's how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, that's how I feel. Yeah, gets a new dawn, gets a new day, gets a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh yeah. And I'm feeling good. Charity Lockhart. Oh, let's take a deep breath, everybody. Good morning. Are we glad to have Charity back or what? In person? Yes. I haven't seen her since 2020 in person, since the pandemic.
warms my heart to see you, to lay eyes on you again this morning. As we said, coming in. Thank you so much for being here. As you all know, Charity has been all over the world, cruise shipping, entertaining, being the star and all that. And today she's here with us, and we're really, really happy about that. And we are feeling good about that, really good about that. So let's take a deep breath together again. And I love that song right there, because our theme for the year is begin again. Begin again. And that's what we're doing, feeling good about beginning again. And that's being so open to possibilities and everything about beginning again. And that makes us feel good. That makes us smile. That makes us filled with hope and possibilities. We've been talking this month about the law of attraction revisited. We've been revisiting the law of attraction this month and really moving away from the sort of bad rap that has taken over the years. And today, my topic is B before C. That's sort of a metaphysical play on the alphabet, B, B-E, before C, S-E-E. And the bottom line is we have to be what it is we wish to see in order to be able to see that. That's how the law of attraction works. It always works. We are always attracting that to us, which we are. We are always attracting to us that which we are. And so just thinking about, as we go along through this time together this morning, thinking about being what we wish to see, being what we wish to see. You know, Ernest Holmes says that we are all mental and spiritual broadcasting stations. We are always broadcasting who we are. We are always broadcasting. Signals are always going out from us, even when we're sleeping. Even when we're sleeping, there are signals going out from us, and they affect and influence our environment and other people around us. And so keeping that in mind is just, we have to wonder, what are we broadcasting? What are we sending out? Well, if you want to know, just look at what we're getting back, because he says, because everything goes in circles, whatever we're broadcasting out comes back to us. It goes out from us, and then it comes back to us. It goes out from us, and then it comes back to us. It goes out from us, and then it comes back to us. That's how the law works. And so whatever it is that we are broadcasting, whatever signals we're sending out, we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of that, so that if there needs to be an adjustment, if there needs to be a shift, if there needs to be a change, we can do that. We can do that. And keep in mind also that not only are we broadcasting, we are also receivers. We're also receiving. We're also receiving, but we don't have to tune in. You have to tune in order to receive. So we can make a decision about what we're broadcasting, and we can make a decision about what we're tuning into, so that we can be the deciders of what we are going to be receiving also. So we're broadcasting stations, and we're receiving stations, and we're broadcasting stations, and we're receiving stations, and we're broadcasting stations, and we're receiving stations also. Wow, what power we have, huh? What power we have, because we can change, as I said, those things that we broadcast and those things that we're sending out, those signals that we send out. I love that poem by Senator Booker, because it shows the control that we have to be what it is we wish to see. If we don't want to see criticism, if we don't want to see condemnation, if we don't want to see things blocking us, if we don't want to see any of that stuff, all we have to be is what we want to see. If we want to see love, we have to be love. And that's what that poem was talking about, just being love, being love, being love. And as Ernest Holmes says, love doesn't have to combat hate. Love just has to be itself. Love just has to be itself. And when love is just being itself, it doesn't have to fight with anything else. It can just be what it is. That's how God works. God just is, and it is what it is. Always. God just is itself. And God is love. God is peace. God is harmony. God is balance. God is all those wonderful things. Not fighting against anything that's unlike it. God is light. The light doesn't fight the darkness. The light just is being what it is. It's just being light. And when the light enters a room, the darkness is dispelled. Not because the light was fighting it, but just because the light was being itself. And so that's what we have to decide in our own lives. What is it that we want to see in our lives so that we know what we have to be, in our lives? And I think that's a big thing for us to look at today and to start. I'm going to be asking you to just make a list of the things you want to see in your life, the things you want to see in your life, the things that you want to see. And mind you, don't allow those things that you see to cancel out what you be. Don't allow the things that you see to cancel out what you be, because that can happen. Don't allow, and another way of saying that is, as Jesus put it, look beyond the appearances to the truth. Look beyond the appearances to what you want. Look beyond what you see to what you be. And stand in the beingness of who you are. That's the important thing. Stand in the beingness of who you are. Decide what it is you want in your life, what it is you want to experience in your life, and then be that. Be that. That's the only way we can attract it, is to be that. The interesting thing about us, though, as humans, I know, well, about me as a human, is that we are often attracting things we don't want. We're often attracting things we don't want. You know, with being these broadcasting signals that we are, we're constantly sending out invitations. We're constantly sending out invitations. Don't send out invitations to things that you don't want in your life. Don't send out invitations to people you don't want in your life. I'm a great one for doing that. Sending out invitations. And I've always been, I was sort of thinking about it this morning. I've always managed to send invitations to people who are just a little bit different, who are a little bit quirky, if you will. And so they show up wherever I go in my life. People who are a bit, Jorge is pointing to everybody in the room, but except himself, of course. People who are just a little different are the ones who generally show up in my life. And that's been sort of the family joke, if you will, for many, many, many years. And I can remember when I was in another community, there was a person who was really different and really quirky. And I would go home talking about her every day. And we ended up being in the same organization together. And of course, we became prayer partners. Random pick for prayer partners. Of course, I chose her. Because, you know, that which we resist, that which we give our attention to is what we attract into our experience. And so she became my prayer partner of all people. And we were prayer partners for 2 years, which was a wonderful experience. But who would have thought that I would ever have her as my prayer partner, or she me? Because we were so different, and I was constantly focusing on her. I was constantly talking about her. I was constantly thinking about how different she was and how quirky she was and all that. And she was my prayer partner. Fast forward to December this past year when I went to San Jose and I was on my way back to Phoenix. I was at the airport and I was sitting in the waiting area. And I was talking to my daughter on the phone while I was sitting. And I saw a lady walking down the concourse pushing a wheelchair. And she had bags in this wheelchair, and she had a big floppy hat on. And then she had like a baseball cap on top of the hat. And so I commented that there's this really odd looking lady walking down the concourse. And I described what she had on and all. And my daughter said, don't talk about her because she's going to be your seatmate. And I said, no, she's going to another gate. So she passed by and she went on to the other gate. And I didn't even think about her anymore. I got on the plane and I was sitting waiting for boarding to happen. The last person to get on the plane was that person, that lady. There were some seats there. There were 2 empty seats next to me. I was sitting on the aisle. She walked right up to me and said, I want to sit in that middle seat next to you. And I smiled and I got up and let her in, and she sat in the middle seat. And I thought, wow, broadcasting station, huh? So whatever my energy was, you know, because the way the law of attraction works, when we start to resist, our resistance becomes attractive. And you know that saying in that metaphysical saying, what you resist persists. It persists because it's attractive. When we are resisting, we are attracting that which we don't want. And if it's already into where in our experience, it stays there because we continue to resist it. We create that energy, we create that glue that brings it right to us, and it locks it in there. So she came in with her hats and all her bags, and she put them all up, and then she sat not in the window seat. She sat in the middle seat next to me. The window seat was empty too, and she sat there, and she talked from the time she sat there until we got to Phoenix. And she was a really nice lady. She had been traveling the world, and I'm not sure why she was coming to Phoenix. She told me, but I don't remember now. But she was really great. She had so much information. She shared so much with me. But it was just interesting how I had immediately decided, nope, I hope she sits someplace else. Oh, no, she's going to another gate. And no, I attracted her right into my experience. I'm glad that I did, because it was a wonderful experience talking to her all the way to Phoenix. But I'm sharing that because that's how we attract into our lives the things that we don't want to experience. I sent her an invitation as soon as I saw her. I said, come on in. Come on, sit next to me on the plane. And even though I didn't think about it anymore, she got the message. She got the message, and she responded. She responded immediately. And as soon as she got on the plane with all those other empty seats, she sat right next to me. She sat right next to me. And that was just, it's sort of comical, and it was a good experience. And we can attract things to us that we don't want and that don't have to be good experiences also. Simply by being that broadcasting station, being that emitting those signals that are inviting in things that we don't want, inviting in things that we do want. So making sure that we know exactly what it is we're inviting in, and making sure that we aren't constantly sending out invitations. We are aware of the invitations we send out, because we also send out invitations to things that we do want. And so what I'm going to invite you today is right now, take a breath. Yeah. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to make a list of things that you do want to see in your life. Make a list of things that you do want to see in your life. And you can do setting up categories. It could be in the area of relationships. It could be in the area of health. It could be in the area of finances. It could be in the area of career, job, or whatever the case may be. But make a list of things that you do want to experience in your life. What things do you want to see? With regard to relationships, because once you have that, my mind is racing ahead. Once you have that list, then you can look at that list and start to see where you be with each one of these things on that list. If you're looking at relationships and listing the qualities of the partner you'd like to have, when you list the qualities, and the next thing you have to do is you move into the energy of those qualities. You know what it feels like. You aren't putting your sights on any particular person, any specific person, but just being open to your perfect relationship, your perfect partner. What does that look like? What qualities does that person have? What does it feel like? What's the energy of that relationship feel like? And then once you list all the qualities that person has, which of these qualities do you have? How many of these qualities do you already have? If you want someone who's kind, if you want someone who's generous, if you want someone who is compassionate, if you want someone who's loving, you want someone who's lovable, you want someone who's all these things. Are you each one of these things that you want in a partner? Because the only way you're going to attract that is that you be that yourself. So if you go down that list and you think, generosity, not so much. Kind, most of the time. Whatever the case may be, that's not a time to beat up on yourself. That's a time to get going. That's a time to really make a decision that this is what I'm becoming. This is what I am willing to become, so that I can attract this into my life, so that I can attract this into my experience. And so I'm inviting you really to think about that. What does that feel like to have the perfect partner? To have someone who's kind, to have someone who's forgiving, to have someone who's generous, to have someone who's loving, to have someone who's lovable, to have someone who's fun. Are you fun? Or are you a fuddy-duddy? What is it? How are you? And that means taking an honest look at yourself, but as I said, not for the purpose of self-criticism, but for the purpose of self-growth, for the purpose of being willing to change and to let go and to open up and to expand and to become all that you were created to be, so that you can have the relationship that you desire in your heart. The same thing is true of you were dealing with financial situations. If you want a better financial situation in your life, just how is the situation now, and what is it that you need to adjust? How do you need to adjust your thinking? How do you need to adjust the way that you live? How do you need to adjust your relationship with money so that your finances are better? If that's what you desire. How do you need to adjust your spending? How do you need to adjust your saving? How do you need to adjust your giving? Because that's all a part of financial abundance also, is giving. How do you need to adjust that? And then, are you willing to adjust those things? Are you willing to do something different? Are you willing? Because, in order to have what you want, something's got to change. Because otherwise, you'd already have it. Right? If nothing needed to change, then you'd already have what you want. So if you don't have what you want, that means that something needs to shift. Something needs to happen. There needs to be space created so that it can be expressed through you. Because the only way God works for us is to work through us. The only way God works for us is to work through us. So God is always working in this situation. But if we're closed, if we're not open, if we're not available, if we're not aware, and when we're not aware, we're not available. If we're not aware and consciously making a conscious decision to change, to shift, to be open, to be mindful, to be loving, to be available, then once we are all those things, then God can work through us. Oftentimes by working through other people, oftentimes by working in ways that we can't even imagine. But the thing for us to do is to be in that place of openness, that place of availability, that place of love, that place of peace, that place of harmony, if those are the things that we want in our lives. And so making a list of what you want to see in your life, and then looking at what you must be, and then being willing to become that which you must be. The thing that helps us to become and to be that which we must be in order to see what we want, what we be, what we have to. One of the things that really helps us is one of our sacred 7 practices is affirmations. I talk about affirmations from time to time, but affirmations are statements of truth that we can accept, the truth about ourselves, the truth about a situation or whatever. And let me remind you that we're always using affirmations. We use affirmation all the time, all of the time. We're always making statements. Now, whether those statements are true or whether those statements are things that we want to experience, that's a different story. But the truth is that we're always using affirmations. Why not be conscious in our use of affirmations? Why not be conscious of what we are creating with the statements that we use, the words that we use? I always say to you, there are no throwaway words. 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 So being mindful of the fact that every word you speak is a powerful word. And then looking at the intention behind them. So if a relationship is what you want, and you want someone who has all these qualities, then starting to affirm, I am generous, I am loving, I am so lovable, I can't stand it. I am so open and available. I am so ready for a relationship. I am so ready for the love of my life. become a part of my experience. I am so ready to be the love of the life for someone else. I'm so ready for all these things. I am prosperous. I know that all the Father hath is mine, and I am open and receptive to experiencing all that the Father hath. Living in the hath, I am aware. I am aware that I am abundant, I am prosperous, and that more and more prosperity comes to me. Another good one that I got from another class that I was taking not too long ago is the older I get, the more money I have. The older I get, the more income I have. The older I get, the more opportunities I have. And that's a really good one to use because people start to think, oh, well, I'm too old now. Well, I'm on fixed income. Well, your income is always fixed. If you're working on a salary, it's fixed at a certain rate. And then you may get a raise, and then it's fixed there. So to get into the mindset of a fixed income and let that be a cause for the consciousness of lack is not something that you want to be. You want to be in that place of knowing that the older I get, the more I have, the more money I have, the more income I have, the more possibilities I have, the more opportunities I have. Of whatever it is I want. If it's health that I want, the older I get, the better my health gets. The better my health gets. Because God doesn't age. God does not age. God does not age. And each one of us is made in the image and likeness and out of God itself. And so there's that perfection within us. There's that completeness that is within us. There's that wholeness that is within us that is seeking to reveal itself in and through and as our lives. And it can only do that to the degree that we're open to it. It can only do that to the degree that we're willing to be that. That we're willing to be that. So I'm really inviting you today to be what it is you want to see. Be what it is you want to see. Do your prayer work. Fasten those spiritual seatbelts. Do your prayer work. Do your meditation practice. Do your regular spiritual practice. And then don't allow what you see to cancel out what you just prayed for. Or if you're seeing a practitioner or a counselor, don't allow the prayer to be canceled by what you see, because what you see sometimes creates a doubt. So be willing to stand in the truth that you know. Be willing to stand in the truth that you be, looking beyond what you see, and stand in the truth that you be. I be created in the image and likeness and out of pure spirit. I be abundant beyond measure. I be healthy beyond measure. I be loving. I be forgiving. All of these things I be. And then once we can really stand in that knowing and stand in that place of being, then we start to see. Then we start to see what it is we want to experience. Then we start to see. Again, when you can believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you don't see, you will see, and what you do see, you won't see. That's the way that works. When you can believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you do see, you won't see, and what you don't see, you will see. That comes from our beingness. That comes from our standing in that place of knowing that all good is now mine. All good is now mine. That there's a powerful good in the universe that I can use. There's a powerful good in the universe that I can use, and I dare to use it right here and right now. Be sassy with it. I dare to use it right here and right now. That powerful good that's in the universe. And flip that around. There's a powerful good in the universe, and I can use it, and I dare to allow it to use me. I allow it to use me. And when we allow that power to use us, look out. Look out. because our life takes off in ways that we can't even imagine, that we can't even know, because we don't know how the power wants to use us. But when we are open and available and saying yes to life, your life becomes another whole Oprah show. Everything is different. Everything changes. Everything changes. And it has to change for good, because life is good, because God is good, because that power is good. And it's just awaiting our recognition of it, our acceptance of it, our recognition of it, our belief in it, and our acceptance of it. And once we do that, again, fasten your seatbelts, because your life takes off in ways that we can't even imagine. And so I invite you to keep in mind as you go through this week that we are spiritual broadcasting stations. So what are we broadcasting when you walk out of here? What are you broadcasting when you open your mouth? What are you broadcasting when you're having those thoughts, whatever they may be? And when you become aware of them, you can change them on a dime. You can shift it in a flash, like that. Like that. We have the power to do that. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. Use this power for good and watch the good take off in your life. Be that broadcasting station and that receiving station, and decide what it is you're going to broadcast and what it is you're going to receive. That's powerful. That's powerful. That means that we are not at the whim and fancy of something out there, someplace. That we have the power. We have the power to decide and to create and co-create with the all that is our own lives and where we're going. So be what you want to see and see what happens. Let me know. Let's take a breath. Let's turn within in this moment. Invite in what you want to see. Send a special invitation to what you want to see. Cross off your list those things you don't want to see. Off your invitation, off your invite list. It's okay to cross off. People, places, situations, circumstances, and things. We can cross those off. We can take a breath and say, you know what? I want this, I want this, I want this. Life is like a big grocery store. You can go in and say, I want this, I want this, I want that. Nope, I'm leaving that behind. Nope, don't need that. That's how we live. That's how I'm inviting you to live. So we turn within in this moment. Just knowing and sensing and feeling that power for good in the universe, knowing that that power for good in the universe is the only power, the only presence, the only life, the only mind, the only breath, the only activity. And this onlyness is my very life. This onlyness is the life of each one of us here this day. This onlyness is the source of all. It is the source of all. I choose to call it God, but by any name, it's the source of our being, of each one of us. And so just knowing this truth, just standing in the knowing that this onlyness is my life, it is that from which I can never depart. I speak this word for each of us this day, just speaking a word of wholeness, that knowing that wholeness is revealing itself in and through and as our lives, as love, as peace, as harmony, as balance, as good health, as prosperity, as abundance, as joy, as good relationships, whatever it is that we desire in our lives, wholeness reveals itself as that, because God is wholeness itself. And it is always seeking that opening, and each of us is open to receiving that which God is in and through and as our lives. And as we open ourselves to receive, we open ourselves to release and let go of those things that don't serve. We let go of the doubt. We let go of the fear. We let go of the judgment. We let go of the blame. We let go of the shame. We let go of the anger. We let go of anything that doesn't serve, and just allow ourselves to be filled with the presence of God. I know that each one is filled with the presence of God right now, that healing presence of God, that healing presence of God. And that change is happening everywhere. Change is happening everywhere. Good is happening everywhere in our lives, in every aspect, in our body temples, in our bodies of affairs. All needs are met. God, the great comforter, is always right where we are. It always guides us, directs us, uplifts us, protects us. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, God is. God is. God is. God is. That's all we ever need to know, is that God is. And just breathing into that knowing always, always. And so I'm going to pause momentarily as I open this circle of prayer so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer. You may speak their names silently or loud, and you may speak them now. So for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that right where each one is, the power and the presence of God is blessing and keeping them, knowing that God is in the midst of every situation, every circumstance. God is in the midst of everything, everywhere present. This prayer goes out to anyone on the planet needing a prayer this day. This prayer goes out to our government officials, knowing that divine right action is taking place, that divine guidance is taking place, that there's an opening for God to work for the good of all, for the highest good of all. Decisions are being made for the highest good of all, and that there's peace at the center of everything, peace at the center of our world, of our country, of our own individual lives. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you, Father, Mother God. All is well. All is God. And so it is.
I believe children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Giving them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter, let it remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to go to. Never found anyone to fulfill that need. A lonely place to be. And so I've learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone At least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, just find your strength.
Thank you, Charity. What a blessing. Thank you for blessing us this morning. This is our conscious giving time, the time when we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and our offerings. We invite you to join in this sacred practice by the tithing here at CLF. As you tithe to CLF, we tithe to local nonprofit organizations that are serving our community and making real life differences in the lives of real people. Like our second quarter tithe recipient, Tiger Mountain Foundation, who provides life-changing service to address urgent community needs. What you're doing in our community. You can click the donate button on our website or on our Facebook page, or you may use your cell phone and you can text to give, and that number is 844-941-4360. For our in-person giving, the ushers now are making their way forward, and Deborah Covington will lead us in our offering song, I Trust in God, and the lyrics are on the screen.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I'm one with the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God.
And now let us repeat our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is. Thank you, Fran and Janet, for being our ushers this morning. And now I'd like to call Nicole forward, and she has the announcements for us.
Thank you, everybody. Charity, oh my gosh. So, Feeling Good is my all time favorite song. I have commitment issues, but that is absolutely my favorite song. And that was my favorite version ever. That was amazing. All of it was amazing. So, thank you. Oh, what a blessing today has been. All right, announcements. So, a reminder that we offer midday meditation Monday through Friday at noon on our Facebook page and YouTube live streams. Please join us for your meditation practice. And we also offer a pre-service meditation at Sundays at 9:30 a.m. And then let's not forget that on Monday, we also have Monday practice with Reverend Jorge at 6:30 p.m. Again, this is through our Facebook and YouTube live streams. And get your practical assignment for the week from Reverend Jorge based on Sunday's talk. That way you get to have a practice throughout the week and we don't just show up on Sundays. Tuesday, our Community Care Connection Zoom meeting with Reverend Sherry is at 6:30 p.m. And this week we will be doing conscious conversations. So you can check in and bond over any insights you've received from now until Tuesday. You never know what pops up. And you can let us know how your meditation and Monday practices are going as well. Then this Saturday is the last meeting for the Ernest Holmes book study. Grab your copy of Money, A Spiritual Idea, and read it. It's only 6 pages, so if you've missed all the other days, it doesn't matter. Read it, come and join. You can never be too late to drop in and connect and go deep with Ernest Holmes. You know, who wants to miss out on that? And again, that's in Zoom, and that's on Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. And then today, Reverend Sherry is leading our community visioning at 11:30 a.m. So you're invited and encouraged to stay or to show up online, get out of where your home is and come over here. You got time. And then you can vision with us, because remember that God's vision for CLF can only be expressed through us. So join us today, 11:30. And if you're hungry, go to Tatum's Grill, grab some food, bring it in, but be here with us. And then after service, we have our practitioners available to pray with you. Praying with someone else is powerful and helpful when you can't see past the circumstances. So when I'm not going to try to say what you were saying because it's a big of a tongue twister, but when you see, you can't not see it, whatever she was saying. Let a practitioner see past that for you if you can't get past what you're currently seeing. So pray with a practitioner after service today. And then we also have a prayer box on the table just outside the door, so you can put a written prayer request in there. The practitioners pray for that for 30 days, or you can send an email at any time to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. Just put in that subject line prayer request. That's really important to make sure it gets where it needs to be. And then you can find all of our information on our website or in our weekly newsletter. And that's it. And back to you, Reverend Sherry.
Thank you, Nicole. Let's take a breath. I just have a couple of closing remarks, and you know what those are. Reminding you to use the treatment for supply. That's our community prayer. And I encourage you to use it because it works. It's on page 262 of the Science of Mind textbook. And there's also paper copies. There are also paper copies at the guest table if you'd like to take a paper copy with you. I always suggest reading it into your phone, and then you always have it with you. So you can just pick up the phone and do the treatment for supply. It really works when you work it. It's the most comprehensive Ernest Holmes treatment I've seen in all the years that I've been dealing with religious science. I use it. I love it. So I encourage you to use it because it works. Also, connecting with each other. always recommend and suggest and encourage you to connect with each other. Calls, messages, text messages, phone calls, getting together if you're doing that in person, however you do that. But connecting with each other is very important for us to stay connected. And practitioners, that Nicole said, practitioners are available for prayer immediately after service over in this alcove where Reverend Mary Jane is sitting. And don't walk around with a heavy heart. If you would like to have prayer, they're available to assist you this morning. Now, I think that we can stand and do our closing affirmation. Repeat after me, please. I know that I am a broadcasting station. I broadcast only those things I wish to be and to see, because I be what I see. And knowing all this, something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, and I thank God for it. And I accept it. I didn't say that part. And I thank God for it. Thank you, God. And so it is. And now Deb will lead us in our closing song, the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Charity Lockhart, thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here with us today. Let's give her a hand again. Take good care, everyone.